Here's a question. Do flat earthers think that the moon is flat as well? Hello GSV peeps, it's Dangly Bob here, and as you can see I have a new webcam, and it's sat there beaming away at me. Oh, watch me scratch my nose. Not sure what I think about webcam, but there you go, you guys can look at my lovely mug as I react to what I do actually on screen. And find it a bit disconcerting, because I want to look at myself, I'm looking up there, I want to look at you guys, I should be looking up there. And actually if I want to play a game I want to be looking down here, so I'm not too sure what you guys can see when I watch. Anyway, let's get on with it. So, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, and today we are playing the 8th mission, I think, of the Making History downloadable content, and this one, so reading the mission briefing here, it's greetings crew, I hate to use the term routine. Well, yeah, okay, it's a routine, do we believe that? Pretty straightforward mission. Goal is to reach the moon, land, plant a flag, pick up a sample and return to Kerbal. And first of all, it just wants a 100-kilometre circular orbit around Kerbal, so a pretty routine, standard thing. And ignore the warnings about being 13. Yeah, well, we know it's not going to be routine, is it? Because none of these missions have been particularly routine, and actually that's what makes them a little bit fun, throwing the odd problem at you and you have to do the problem solving. Now, as I click the continue button, make sure I've got some Kerbals on board, and also have a look at what we've got here, because I didn't make this spacecraft. It's got some massive great gantries, it's got 4, I think these are Mastodon engines, 5 Mastodon engines at the bottom, some pretty big fuel tanks, that's the one stage there, so another stage here. Let's go up. Can't go up. Why can't it go up? Let's go up that way then. So we've got one stage there. There's, what's that in there? Crew hatch. Oh, is that the lander module? Oh, they put the lander module inside. Fair enough. There's no legs on top of that. Then this service module. Never quite figured out what the service module's for. It's a sort of container type thing. And then we've got a escape tower on the top as well. So actually it's a pretty standard Earth looking, let alone Kerbal looking rocket. But let's get to it then. So 100-kilometre orbit. Where's the, yeah, if we're not bad, if we get up, oh no, we're there, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to have to wait a little for some reason. Going to wait a little before we go straight into orbit for the moon, but let's get it into a 100-kilometre orbit first anyway. I could wait, just do all in one, but frankly we know something's going to go wrong, it's not worth trying to plan it. So SAS on, fuel on, stability, yes, and it's a very slow takeoff. I didn't quite see what the thrust to weight ratio was, but it can't be that much above 1. Definitely below 2. Let's get rid of that. Actually, the service module has got some fuel and stuff inside it. Wait till we get to 100 kilometres, or meters per second rather. We'll start tilting it over now. We're going to go for a standard equatorial easterly orbit. I'm doing this one in live commentary, as you can see, because I have the camera on. We'll see how this goes. Might make the video a little bit longer, it depends how long what they chuck at us, but just thought I'd try it this way. So while I leave younger me there, I say younger me by a couple of hours, and we speed things up just because long burns getting into orbit takes some time, and actually this whole video was about an hour and a half long, so I've got to cut it down at least a little bit. So we'll speed some bits up, put old Moonveil as we do this, And you've seen this a million times before, if not from me, certainly lots of other people. But actually now I'll hurry up. Ooh, need to just... okay. Just need... Actually, there we go. We've got the... It was quite happy with that first one anyway, but I wasn't. Right, so, okay, points. So nothing wrong at the moment. Oh, okay. I've got about 800 meters per second DV left. Oh. Okay. What was that? Acapello 13, do you read? We detected a massive explosion in your vessel. Yeah, so did I. Repeat, what is your status? Well, we're still here. Okay, bad news, that explosion was actually one of your engines. Assessing the situation now, it seems should be able to complete your mission. You can choose to return to Kerbal if you do not want to think less of your scrubbing mission. I don't think that's what it wants us to do. Yeah, if you're feeling particularly brave, you should have enough fuel to continue to the moon, attempt a landing. You need to dock the pod to the lander. Can't guarantee your safety, so be careful to choose danger like a... Yeah, we're Kerbals. The middle name of every Kerbal is Danger. Particularly if you're Jebediah. Pod to the lander. Well, we've got 800 DV. It wasn't one of these engines, it was something up here, so I've got a feeling there's no engine in there, there's no fuel in there at all. Something in my mouth. One of my own beard hairs. And in here, I've got a feeling there might have been... Yeah, this is the separation, so there should have been something in there. That is the lander. That's the engine on the lander. What's that? It's a structural panel. There's a separation system, and there's another engine in there. So, right. Well, let's put a node in to start. How can we get to the moon using what fuel we've got? So let's put a maneuver in there. Warp around to here. That is a 20-second burn, so it's 10 seconds. Well, actually, we're not going to get the full 10 seconds, are we? Warp to there. Getting ready to burn. Actually, I'm miles away from my... Oh, it's going to take a long... I should have swung around to the node first. We'll just burn a little bit late, I'll be fine. If I put a little burn on now, swing us around a bit. Go for a full burn. In fact, let's point towards node. Just to stick in the correction to what we need. Right, so I'm 48 meters per second short. So let's get rid of that stage. Come on, back to. Here we go. That is a big stage, that first stage, isn't it? Right, so that's an engine plate, so that's where our engine should have gone. And this is a fuselage. But that's got a cowling over it. So where are we? Right, so we're going to just basically on a big elongated orbit at the moment, so we're still safe. Right, okay, so that's the next stage, is getting rid of that, which I don't think is any use to us anyway, so let's stage that. Oh. It's a rather drastic motion. And the next stage then is... Okay, so we have a docking port on the front. Come back to where's my staging? Docking mode, display staging, display staging. It normally comes up here, tells you what's that here. No. What approach info for the moon? Oh, never noticed that before. Right, so what happens if I hit it again? It's either going to get rid of this cowling, which is around here somewhere, or do something with this docking port. So that was drastic. Okay, so there's some sort of fairing gone. Well, that is good. Well, I've never seen this before. What's this piece here? Why have I not been able to build that myself? We've got a stack separation scheme there. And a little one there. So this is the lander. The lander's in its own little cage. And this is all protected. And that... Okay, so that was fuel. Actually, it's not particularly full anyway. But that was fuel for this engine. So I'm assuming the problem is that we need to finish off our orbit, get ourselves into an orbit around the moon. If I take this and dock it onto here, and then ditch this, because I don't know. Looking at this, it doesn't give me any ideas. I suppose I can pull up Kerbal Engineer. Show. Yeah, it doesn't. Tells me what sort of delta V I've got in total, 2,706, but it doesn't tell me what's in this stage. I'll tell you what. Here's an idea. How about we take this off, leave that all attached, stick it on here and use the lander's engine to finish doing off this orbit, maybe even get us around the moon. That would work if I can transfer fuel from here. If I can't, I could definitely transfer fuel from here, but that might leave me a bit short on the way home. So, right, there's nobody in here, so Jebediah, you're the man for the job. Let's get you into the lander. Grab. Board. Go on, let's go for it. Decouple. Bit worried about those aerials breaking off, but decouple. Oh, I don't know which one I'm controlling. Oh, luckily the force, yeah, they've split the force down on that quite a bit. Let's turn the RCCS on. And let's control it from there and go up. That was more to do with the electric, the magnetic, rather than our own manoeuvring skills, but luckily they're quite strong. Right, now Now I want to, can I control it from, yeah, I can control it from the pod. And we want to go prograde. And there are some reaction wheels here somewhere. The reaction in the command modules is enough. And we're still wanting to go, right, I do want to, yeah, after all that messing around I do need to change where we need to go. So let's cancel that one, go for this, go for add maneuver. Burn. Oh, idiot. Need to activate that engine. So we're a little bit over. So let's go back to here. Let's go. As I speed up this next few minutes, I'm pondering because there's a problem with the engines. Where I'm using the lander engine, the engine is in stage 0. It's not actually showing me any DV. And then the engine in stage 4 doesn't actually show me, well, it's not activated, so it's not using any fuel. So I don't know quite what the program is working out its burn times, but certainly I realised that actually that burn time where it said 12 seconds was taking like 20 odd seconds, and it was really confusing me. So I don't know what the problem is, and I don't know how to figure it out, except I know that by doing it by eyeball, just as I did there, we get the same effect. But I still don't know how much DV I've got left. Back to young me. Let's go back to the vessel. What coupler is that one? That's that coupler. And I want to, that's the next thing to do then, it's on the way, is try, because I've used fuel up from the lander. Let's see if I can transfer fuel from here into here. But also I think in order to get some of these, make these figures right, I need to move that engine down to there. Does that give me, no, that still doesn't make any of these. It still doesn't make any of these figures read sense. Okay, so transferring fuel then. I've got a tank there. The easy way of doing this would be to come up here and look at liquid fuel here, but there's tons in here that I don't want, so I want to do that, and I think there's fuel in here as well. So let's click that, and then we can click that and go out and out. That's doing it quite nicely. Right, I'll let that top off, I'll bring you back. So that actually didn't take too long. We still have quite a bit of fuel in this tank here. That unfortunately wasn't a docking port, it was a separation port. And I could really do with, no, we can do this bit with that engine. It's man enough, and then when I'm in orbit again I can transfer some more fuel. So let's do that. Let's get ourselves into a 15-kilometre orbit of the moon. Down, 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 down. This is where McLeod does save some time if you can use it, but like I said, I'm doing these missions without any 14 to 17, that's close enough, that's close enough. Right, that's a 38-second burn. So if we come to here, warp here, go for burn. Just watch that nice periapsis come down, or that the escape become the apoapsis. 15 kilometres above the moon does look very, very close. Here's a question. Do flat earthers think that the moon is flat as well? So So while I speed up this next bit, and we actually go to transfer some fuel as we're orbiting around. Old me's ask you a pondering question I don't know the answer to. Old me? That's young me. That's young me. This is old me, because I am a couple of hours older than I was when I've recorded this. Yes, I think that's the way around. It is. I'm sure it is. Anyway, young me's pondering and transferring fuel at the same time. And the family's walking around in the background. Okay, so I've just finished transferring fuel and I've finished the burn as well. So let's have a quick look at the map. Oh, that is actually, yeah, a little bit. Because of the complicated burn times, we're actually going to crash here. So luckily we're around at the apoapsis side, so we'll just go for a little. Actually, let's go for a. Should we go for a radial out? Let's go for a radial in burn. There we go. Right, let's get rid of that manoeuvre node. I'm happy with that. The thing I've noticed, I'm running out of power electric wise. Running out of power electric wise, but we've got these fuel cells here. Let's start a fuel cell. That'll bring the fuel power up again. And just noticed there's another fairing here. So what happens if I let's okay. Let me do a cutaway. Enable cutaway. Okay, so that just shows you what's inside. Well, lots of fuel. Instead of going for a fuel tank, they've used a service module to pack fuel in, which actually I did on one of the previous. Got the batteries in there and a fuel cell. So let's. Well, I don't need to start that fuel cell yet because we're not actually using the pod. So what's in there? Well, that's a reaction wheel. And then I do have a heat shield, so I could do a direct landing. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here. So that's full, near enough anyway. Just check the module. That's full as well. Not a lot of propellant in there. Okay, there's no monopropellant in here, but there is in here. So I'm going to transfer some of the monopropellant into here because I probably will need in here rather than in here. So let's go out. Don't know why perhaps it wasn't packed full of monopropellant when we got in, but there we go. Right, next. So there's a fair bit of fuel left in there, but if this does have 2,700, that's more than enough to do what I need. So I'll tell you what, we're going to do a quick save just in case it all goes terribly wrong. First one I've done on this mission. Let's decouple that stack separator. Oh, didn't want the ring to come back to me. The idea of that. Right, okay, that's because it was attached by struts. A bit of bad design there because that didn't need to be a stack decoupler. It could have just been a normal decoupler like that, rather than shoving it straight into the back of my craft. Now it's wrapped around the engine, which isn't good. I suppose I can try and shake it off. Or we can, right, let's go for RCCS and just try and ease our way out of it. There we go. Float gently out of it. And that will give us a bit of separation between the two, all this junk here. I'm going to do a retrograde burn anyway to lower our. I want to land on the, for you guys, on the light side. So let's time warp round to where it's going to be day. Watch that all disappear. How do I know now I know what's inside it. Let's enable the cutaway again. It's fine. Don't want to leave those bits exposed. And what I'm going to do now is reduce our speed. So let's change. Do control from here. And turn the RCCS off. I want to go retrograde actually. So where the way I was, and so we fire the right engine. I want to make sure I shut down that engine and activate that engine. Don't know what's going to happen to that if I do that. Find out in a minute. Let's do a slow down burn and aim to try and land somewhere relatively flat. So let's do burn like this. That'll do. Somewhere middle of the day there. And now we've got to separate. Now so we can do that. Don't want to separate that, so we don't want to go to 2. I'm just going to quit because I don't know what's going to happen when I hit the spacebar here. Okay, that didn't do quite what I wanted it to do. Well, might have fired something up. Oh, it's fired up the engine. Good. Actually, it's a docking node, actually, thinking about it. Right, so let's de-dock that. Brilliant. We're still in control of the command module, so now I want to go prograde. Don't want this to be sat in the way of the rocket, so let's take that and move you up and out of the way. Put you on SAS. You'll want to go retrograde as well. That'll be nice there. Right, back to this one. I want you to fire prograde till we get the periapsis back up to about 15. 14, 15, 21. Excellent. So I'll leave you guys for the minute, come back to Jeb. Right, now, Jeb, have a quick look at the map here. You're aiming to land around here somewhere. It doesn't look particularly flat from the map there, so let's turn RCCS off for the minute. I'm going to extend the legs because got some experiments on here. Goo and what's this thing? Surface scanning module. Ooh, aim camera. What is that? Yeah? Okay. Let's look some pressure data. Actually, let's just get on and do a fair amount of... Oh, crikey, I've got monopropellant tanks in there, and I didn't top those up. I didn't spot those. How are we doing for monopropellant? Oh, crikey, we're still only half full. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? Right, okay, let's try not to use too much of our monopropellant then, and let's... Our horizontal speed at the moment, 510, so that's going to be, we've got about 1,000, right, okay, we've got a horizontal speed of 510, vertical speed of about 20, got 1500 meters per second DV. and I need about 800 to get back up into orbit, so let's go to warp there. I'm going to need to use RCCS because I don't think there are any reaction wheels in this module. I think I've come across this before. It's got lots of aerials on it. Go retrograde. Are you going to? No. Okay, so we're going to have to use some RCCS to hold position, which is not necessarily good. Right. Let's go for a burn. Try and land somewhere. It's a pity this looks a lot flatter than it does over there. Change the altimeter to mountains. And speed it up a little bit, because as young me there is whittling on about horizontal and vertical speeds. And really all you need to do really for a really decent retrograde burn like this, you don't want to go for a suicide burn, it's just keep yourself retrograde, just keep touching the speed, make sure you're not going down below your 800 meters per second there. And actually, even if I say so myself, I do this reasonably well. On this time anyway. I don't do this every time. Sometimes it all ends in tears. Sometimes you just get to see it. Sometimes, well, beauty of editing. One thing I'm not doing here is watching what my shadow's doing, which is often a good indicator of how close you are or how quick you're approaching the land. But back to young me. And that should be... Oh, look at that. Right, turn RCCS off. I'm going to do a quick save of that. That is possibly one of the best lunar landings I've ever done. Right, EVA, take a source sample, plant a flag. There is a ladder here, so let's extend the ladder. And EVA. And just jump off. Boop. There we go. Right, so why aren't you... Oh, you don't face me, do you? You do always face it the way around. Right, let's just move away a little bit. Plant a flag. There we go. Nice little flag. And just, oh, I don't know what to call it, Mun 1. Doesn't matter that I'm on the Midlands or whatever, you know, but take a source sample. And keep that. I don't know what that little animation was. Let's see what some of these other experiments are. What can I do with this? I can run an analysis. Oh, okay. I can aim the camera. Oh, I need to be on board to do all these. So, don't let aim camera. Let's grab, climb up, and board. There we go. Manoeuvre around till we're about here. And about here, this periapsis is what, 15, so can't really go for a lower orbit and catch up, so I want to make sure I'm ahead, maybe go for a slightly higher orbit. So we'll wait till, let's warp this around to here. Come in, Acapello 13, just detected a sudden, unplanned, totally random, definitely not scripted in your land. It's totally useless and you need to act fast, so you want to go home. Gain some altitude. Well, I haven't though, have I? Gain some altitude, something crazy and keep trying to... What? I haven't gained any hits. Okay. What? Explosion on the lander? Switch to... I don't see an explosion. So to cut a long story short, young me decides we'll just launch anyway, and we'll just carry on and try and get ourselves into orbit without too much difficulty. Apart from it seemed to be, you know, it doesn't seem to handle particularly well because I hadn't actually turned the RCCS on, which is a mistake on my part. But you know, still trying to find out what exploded and what I was actually doing. Post mission, I went and had a quick look at Google, and actually what's supposed to happen is that once you've taken off, and because that takeoff was delayed because I was trying to get the command module to come round, yes, the thing sort of, you end up losing your engine, and the whole module bit just ends up in space and the engine disappears. But that didn't happen. It supposedly happened on the ground, but the engine was here, so there's a slight bug in the mission there. But if you don't wait to take off, if you take off immediately, you find the engine disappears, which is a little bit disconcerting, because when I went and tried and played back this mission, the lunar lander module bit, the bit with Jeb inside, shoots off, and it takes you a few routes, a few turns, if you like, if you're not completely, well, if you're not an idiot like me anyway. And then you realise actually that the Jeb is still safe and well, and you just have to switch to the other bit because the camera freezes in the bit that exploded, and you don't realise that Jeb's still alive. You think he's dead, but he's not. Anyway, as you can see, I'm up to the apoapsis here. What I've done is I've gone for the RCCS, and I'm using the RCCS to try and extend my orbit as much as possible, because for some reason, even though the engine was attached, we didn't have as much fuel as I thought I had. And we're back, and I have used all my monopropellant to try and widen my my orbit. And I think what I need to do now is come back into here. Let's go. I don't think there's anything else I can really do. We'll have to just even getting out has caused a twist on the aircraft. Let's let go before we get any further, and turn my RCCS on, and I want to head east and just power in like that. That's bringing my apoapsis up quite nicely, actually. 94, 93, 92, 91. Let's have a quick look at how much monopropellant I've got. Get rid of that camera overlay. 43, 49. I want to sort of come down, point ourselves down a little bit more. Perhaps I need to come down. Will that do it? No, I think we're just the way the Kerbal's EVA packs work just means I'm stuck out here. Oh, yeah, okay, camera shift view is good. And there we go. Let's push ourselves out to 15. Have a look at that. So actually that was more effective than using the lander's monopropellant RCS. Right, so unfortunately Jebediah is going to be up here for a little while, because while the lander is going to go and crash back on the moon, we are in an orbit, but the Acapello is way ahead of us, so we need to probably switch to the Acapello. Sorry Jebediah, I can leave you rotating. I don't think he's particularly too worried about it. I mean, look at that little face. Oh, yeah, look, he's sort of swapping between being slightly worried and overly happy. Oh, he's definitely overly happy now. In fact, that is possibly going to be the nice little screenshot there. But going to leave you, Jebediah. We're going to bring we'll see if we can bring this thing to catch you up. And as we leave the live play and speed things up again, it's time to tell you another bug we had with this mission. I don't know, well, it wasn't a bug with the mission, it was a bug with the game itself. We did our normal sort of rendezvous, and this should have been relatively easy. The only difficult bit maybe is that we are rendezvousing with an individual. But no, I've done it before. And it hasn't quite acted out like this, so we had to end up trying to do it twice, because we sailed past Jeb without seeing where he was. And actually, there's no readout on the screen as you're looking at it in this view here, which allows you to see your distance. You have to keep swapping back to the map. So as we're approaching the the target, and the only reason I've got to, or the only way I've got of finding out exactly or roughly where the target is pointing the spacecraft at target, and then trying to figure out, right, okay, well, which way is the Gemini here, for instance, should be directly in front of me, and he should be, even if I can't see him, he should have his little box around him, his little marker box, but that wasn't happening in this case, so we sailed straight past him. I had had 2 or 3 goes to get, actually, yes, 2 or 3 goes to try and figure out, actually, we were sailing straight past him and I wasn't missing him as such, we just weren't catching the little marker box, which tells you your range. So trying to hold my speed, or trying to control my speed as we can come to him, nigh impossible, because you couldn't tell where he was when he was flying straight past you. Not easily anyway. If I'd clocked that was exactly what was happening, I perhaps could have fudged it. But in the end I decided, well, what we'll do is, what I'm doing here is we're going to get the prograde marker right onto the target and fly towards him, not at 30 kilometres. I slowed it down and flew towards him at about 2 meters plus vertical. Separation is 200 meters. Let's swap back to Jebediah. Jebediah, can you see a big tin can winging your way? Oh, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, well, there it is. Okay. So I'm still double clicking on it and it's still not coming up with a... So, Jebediah, do this completely by eye. Does tell you what your target is, 1.8 meters per second. This is extremely realistic. 2.5 meters per second. Just about make out the port. Still closing. Still closing. Might speed this bit up. Make out the door. And that's it. We are just about, I mean, the spaceship actually, because the spaceship is pointing towards target. Let's just go stability. Go back to Jebediah because it keeps pointing at me and I'm not going to get to the door. Grab. No, go the other way. Go up to the door. And board. Oh, crikey, that was a little bit tense. Right. Jebediah, let's go home. Read the messages. You're almost there. No, overrated sphere of influence. With the little fuel you had left, there should be a... Yeah, I think perhaps it thought everybody was going to dump that tank when they lost the engine, but actually we got plenty of fuel that I could think of. should be enough to prepare your vessel for re-entry and landing. Yeah, I'm sure everything will be absolutely fine from now on. Land wherever you want. Okay, so we don't have a landing point, which is probably good. As for assuring everything's fine, I'm not sure what else can go wrong, to be honest. But to be honest, we're going to wait till we get to Periapsis now. Let's just burn retrograde from here and bring our Periapsis down to about 35 kilometers, and we'll go for a hot re-entry. Okay, let's get rid of those messages a bit, and we're back. And we're just about to get doing 3,100. It's a bit on the heat side. Going to be landing on the dark side. It's going to make it a bit dark for you guys, but I'm going to start decelerating there. I am out of space. I'm in the atmosphere. I'm going to start getting some atmospheric effects. Okay, something blew up. What was that? I wasn't expecting something to blow up. Didn't just get any. Okay, bad news keeps appearing. Acapello 13 parachutes activation system failed and burned both the main parachutes. You can try your drogue chute to slow down, but the impact will still be lethal. So, you're going to have to jump. Use personal parachutes to try and land safely on coast. It'll do. Right. Okay, so jumping. I've got some temperature gauges coming up on that, but we are slowing down relatively. Have I got? The engines are overheating, but it's not getting any worse. Our speed is decreasing. In a minute we're going to lose the heat effect. I've got 1,000 DV left. But I just had this crazy idea that perhaps with the aero braking and maybe with the DV we're burning off, I could maybe land the thing on the engine, particularly with the chutes. Just tickle it up, but maybe I'll just stick to the mission and parachute the Kerbals out. Obviously not going to do it now, I'll burn up, just poof, disappear off into dust. So I'm going to keep burning. Oh, now we've got. Oh, it's so tempting to do. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I've just ejected. Yeah, okay, that's going to be stuck. There goes our engine. Okay, well, bang goes that plan. There was I trying to get the parachutes to thingy. I apologise if this is a bit dark. I will try and lighten it up in the post-process. Come on, can I shake that off? Do I want to parachute out now? What speed are we doing? 230. I want to try and slow down a little bit more, maybe. I could eject. Let's jettison the heat shield because we don't need that. Oh, that's going to get stuck. Excuse me. That's going to get stuck under us as well. What height have we got? Let's go for mountain height. 6,000. Right, okay, start time. Jebediah, you are going to go last. Valencia, go on, ladies first. Everybody else is on the ground, it looks like. So it's Valencia down. And I think that'll be it then. I have no idea where everybody else is. We go recover and go back to the space centre. Where's my map? Yeah, all three seem to be down. And there we go. Oh, 12,000! A silver award, a bronze award, and absolutely spiffing. Well, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the live episode rather than the post-processed commentary one. Perhaps didn't run as smooth as what it normally does, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see some more. Like the video if you care to, and we'll see you all in the next one.